Okay, so I'm gonna kind of go through a little bit of the testing and what I've done to figure out get this thing running for score reporting. By far, I'm very satisfied with what I've gotten so far, and I'll go through exactly what I've got. So first things first, I needed to update the app, and so I got I scanned the QR on to the app. I connected the Blink app to my mobile Wi-Fi unit that I have set up, and I plugged that into the internet temporary so that I can have it connected and download the app. Once I was able to do that, I double checked with the Fing app, Fing, to double check and see what my IP address was for the Raspberry Pi on my local internet in my house, to make sure I can download the stuff to the right thing to connect. And got it all connected. I had to double check and get the updated, after you install the app, I have to double check the updated tokens for the Blink device and the scoring device. So I had to copy those codes down and make sure that I get all those accurate and update those into the code for the the respective ESP8266 for the Blink device for the configurator, as well as for the scoring device, and then obviously make sure I put in the updated IP address for the location of the server, which is on my Raspberry Pi, or it could be your computer or whatever. So I got all that updated on both the this configurator and the score tester, and made sure I got the tokens up to date to match what was on the updated app. Because every time you update the app, it resets your token IDs, and so be aware of that if you ever update your app, you gotta reset your token IDs, unfortunately. So yeah, I got my I verified my router was on there and everything. In the meantime, while I was setting up my router, I cut some stickers out to label the devices I'm going to use. I'm going to use 18 individual ESP8266s. They're going to be faux devices for sending the data in. Still haven't gotten to the point to be ready to test them all at the same time yet, but I've tested a few, and I'm going to keep going. So each time I upload the file or the program onto each device, I double check and make sure it pairs, right? So this ESP8266 part of the Blink, or as part of the configurator, was connected. I made sure that's cool, and I can double check on the serial monitor to make sure they were connected too. And so once I'm done with that, I skip over and do the next one and the next one and the next one to make sure they all pair. When I get them all done, I can make sure I've got the scoring device online with the green dot and the Blink device online, and I'm ready to go ahead and test. Okay, so this is what the statistics tab looks like in the project, which is it's just all zeros, right? As you start out, and I found some serious problems on my first trial. I had some weird values coming through, and not all the values were coming through as well, and it took a bunch of troubleshooting to figure out what was going on. And I probably spent a good three or 4 hours just troubleshooting and seeing how I can make sure I can get the data to send properly as a string array. When I finally got that working, I was only able to pick up just one of the numbers, right? So I was getting 0 deaths, but I was getting player ID only. Eventually, after hours and hours of testing, I finally got it to start reading, and then I had some other weird integer issues that were coming through and weren't reading properly, and more time fixing that. Let's see, the way it works is it's going to sit there and ask one player at a time to send its data, and it pairs it that way. and I finally was able to get some scores coming through. So this is the picture of the first time I actually got numbers to register. So my string array came through over Wi-Fi, and it read it correctly, transmitted correctly, and I finally got values, and it started actually converting the string array to integers, and I was able to get some actual results for the first time, and I was super excited about that. And then I was able to start seeing that I was getting actual scores. So there was, whenever player 46 had killed this player that set the score 15 times. So I'm able to produce data, say how many times each player kills the other player, particular players, but it's not necessary to do that. And then I'm able to accumulate the score for that player as it goes through and adds each player down the list. But then I came across this issue still with problems with the numbers not registering, and it turned out I had a wrong value set for the quantity of integers to be used in an array. Once I got that fixed, it started scanning and reporting properly, and I started to get actual good values. And so as you can see, the statistics were filling in, and it was working very well. I plugged in a couple more devices, and I was able to get four players to work that I've tested so far. So that I've got all the issues and small little bugs worked out in the program. The next thing I need to check, and this will be complete, is the proper transmittal of data over serial from the ESP32 to the ESP8266. So that's the next step. Other than that, everything is working exactly the way I was hoping it would after almost all day today so far, troubleshooting it since like 5 this morning. I took some breaks here and there, did some work too, but it's been a long day of testing and bug fixing.